everything. I have no power for like 3 days.
Yeah.
Texas blows.
I didn't know that.
So, dude, the second you run
back, Shane. Come on.
Just say I went to Austin, and gotta tell you that Austin, that city is a boiling pot of evil goo, just circling a dish.
I hated everyone I met, and all of the things that people were doing I hated, and I didn't understand what was going. You know, everyone there was like, "This is the next city,"
right?
And I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. The lake is the color of sewage. These are the worst people. Austin is like if the Proud Boys and Antifa got married and had a city. Nothing works. And the food is atrocious. It's some of the worst food in America. You have to be like a drunk college pig to enjoy it. I've shit-talked Austin for 3 years. Not one human being has said, "Hey, fuck you, man." Not one person has said that. Everyone kind of goes, "Yeah, I get it."
All right, so it's been almost 5 years since Joe Rogan moved to Austin, Texas. And if you listen to what he has to say about it, he makes it seem like Austin is the greatest place ever. But quite a few of his friends that have moved there have a completely different opinion. And the most recent has been Brendan Schaub, who just moved there, and he's really regretting it, which I covered over on Patreon if you're interested. But that's what made me think of this video idea, because he's not the only one who heard Rogan constantly talk about how amazing it is and how they need to move there. And then they went there and realized Austin kind of sucks. Like Shane Gillis, he moved there almost 2 years ago, and he's not even there as much as the average person who lives there. You know, he's always on the road, and he goes back to New York quite a bit. But even for the amount of time he spends in Austin, it sounds like he just can't take it anymore. And obviously the only reason he moved there to begin with is because Rogan convinced him to. Like the first time Shane was on Joe's podcast, Joe kept talking about how amazing Austin is. And Shane's like, "Yeah, it's cool, but the homeless people here really freak me out." And it's so funny because, you know, if they're talking about LA, Joe would spend the next 10 minutes flipping out about the politicians and all the crime and drug use they let happen. But since they're talking about Austin, then it's a different story. Like at first he kind of blames politicians a little bit, but then he's immediately like, "Well, you know, the homeless here, dealing with them, it's just part of the fun. It makes things interesting." And Shane's response is hilarious. You know, of course, Joe, who's worth $250 million and travels with a security team, is acting like, "Oh, it's not that big of a deal. You know, dealing with dangerous drug addicts is fun." So he's just coping like crazy here. And the homeless, it must be pretty bad if Shane's complaining about it, because I think he's living in New York City at the time. So he should be used to it. But when he tells Joe that he's walking around downtown, Joe's like, "Oh no, you shouldn't do that."
Austin's amazing. I fucking love it here.
Austin's cool. The area around there, I don't like it.
It's a little sketchy.
A lot of homeless.
Yeah. Well, it's not well regulated.
No.
And these knuckleheads decided to defund the police, which is a super unwise move. But you know what? Relatively speaking, it's exciting.
Yeah, excited. Yeah, you got a fucking driver and a bodyguard, dude. And you do karate. Yeah, it's fun. I'm walking around just like, dude, I'm going to get fucked up.
Don't walk
here.
around. You're supposed to.
You got to walk around.
Get from the parking lot into the structure, and then from the structure into the parking lot, and then we vacate the area. That's what you do.
That's what it,
yeah, you secure the perimeter of the area with security.
Yeah, I like doing
a lot of
comedy
shows.
in fucking Fallujah. What the fuck, dude?
It's part of the fun.
It is fun. It is fun, but
it is.
Till it's not.
Until it's not. Yes.
One day somebody's not going to have fun.
Yeah. But that's like part of what the fun is. Like,
true.
You cannot have light without dark. You cannot have sunshine without rain. If you have sunshine all the time, you have California and everybody's fucked up.
Yeah.
They don't know what to do.
And whenever somebody's shitting on Austin, Joe's classic move is to deflect by bringing up LA or California. He loves to do that. It's so funny. Like right when he gets done talking about how the homeless problem in Austin is just kind of fun and it makes it more exciting, he's like, "Man, but LA, the crime there's out of control. I have so many friends that had their houses and cars broken into. It's really bad."
You need a little sun. You need a little cold. You need a little bit of everything. You can't just only eat cake, you fuck. You can't just eat cake. That's what like California people are doing. They're just eating cake. Yeah. You know, well, even California now, they're recognizing like Los Angeles is hitting a massive crime wave. Like fucking crime is everywhere. I know so many friends who their apartments been broken into, their cars been broken into, they've been robbed. So many people are getting robbed there. It's just a totally different situation.
And another time Joe did this was during Protect Our Parks, when Mark Norman and Shane started talking about how many Amber Alerts you get in Texas, because Texas has the highest amount of child abduction cases per year. So Shane's like, "Yeah, it's really depressing waking up to that every morning." And then out of nowhere, Joe's like, "Yeah, but you know what I don't miss about California?
I got an Amber Alert today. Did you guys get that
Texas,
one?
Yeah, we
Texas
get them all
goes
the time.
wild with Amber Alert.
Yeah.
You know what I don't miss about
It's a really
California?
depressing way to start
The
day.
forest fires.
Oh yeah,
The
sudden
fires were crazy in California. You ain't
Yeah.
never seen anything like it.
They're here now.
Yeah, bullshit
You guys
fires.
took everything.
Listen, they're bad, but they're not bad like it is in LA because it doesn't rain there.
So seeing Joe cope over people disliking Austin is hilarious, and he must hate the fact that a lot of his friends just have bad things to say about living there. But it's also just all the same shit Joe criticizes LA for. I mean, Joe tries to deflect there by bringing up the forest fires, but then Mark's like, well, Austin has fires too. And it's obviously not as bad as LA, but it ranks 5th in major cities vulnerable to wildfires. So if you're really that concerned about fires, I don't know if Austin is the best place to move to. So it seems like with Joe, whenever he's talking about LA, it's like the end of the world. It's the worst thing ever. But then if something similar is happening in Austin, it's no big deal. You know, it's just part of the fun. Like now, part of the Joe Rogan experience is dealing with street thugs and homeless people. Like another New York comedian who got to have a lot of fun when he went down there was Joe List. He went to do Rogan's podcast, and while he was there walking around downtown, he got harassed by some street thugs and had to run away from them. So he had a good time. Like he also got to see a bunch of homeless people fighting each other too. So it's just madness down there. I mean, it sounds like the homeless there are just really aggressive. Like Shane also said they have screaming runners and homeless people wielding swords.
I wish. I saw a homeless guy with a fucking sword cane in Austin recently. That was freaking me out.
I think I've seen that guy.
Really?
Is he by the mothership?
He was close. He was by like the Black Rabbit.
Okay.
He had like I was just like carrying a box of stuff and I heard a lady like, don't poke anyone with that. And I was like, I looked over and this guy had like, dude, the blade was like that long. And I was like, Jesus freaking Christ.
Damn, that's a cool homeless.
I'm still waiting for the day. Like 4 of them test me and they're like, every time I pass them, I'm like, today could be the day.
They're gonna test you.
I'm gonna
eventually.
test my survival skills.
Yeah.
In San Francisco, there's like these guys, and they just walk around like it's crazy.
Oh,
it's a
they're
new guy,
stuck walking.
Yeah, stuck walkers, dude. They're just like this. They're like this, and they just kind of like scramble around. I've never seen those guys.
It is nice. It is nice that it's like a zombie video game. Final stop is fucking L.A., San Diego with the screaming runners.
Yes.
Austin's got the screaming runners, dude. Screaming runners is terrifying.
So we drove down the street, and the guy was kind of saying, they've taken over. It's crazy. It's scary. Be careful.
The
Whatever.
Lyft driver sent.
Yeah. I asked the lady, I was like, is it safe walking around here now? It feels like it's changed a bit. And she was like, just avoid 6th Street. And I was like, all right, got it. But so I was walking up the street, and I'm like, all right, so far, so good. And then I started to get closer, and I saw these 2 guys walking towards me, and they seemed like, ne'er-do-wells. And then there was a guy on a bicycle, like a BMX style bike, who kind of was with them and then rode ahead and kind of did like a loop behind me. So then I was like, all right, this feels unsafe. So I kind of just moved to the street, like off the sidewalk, but still right next to the sidewalk. And then the 2 guys, as they passed, were like, look at this motherfucker, this racist ass motherfucker moving into the street, this white guy, this. As we passed each other, and I could still hear him kind of like mumbling. They seemed like they were fucked up. And then I came to the intersection, which is where I guess that homeless shelter is, and there was like 40 homeless people, not like sleeping in tents or on the sidewalk, but like fighting, yelling, bottles smashing. And I was just like, I don't feel like walking through that. That doesn't seem great. And then as I was walking back that way, they were a little ways ahead of me, and for whatever reason, they decided to cross back across the street. And so we just met right there. And then the guy's like, you wouldn't be following us, would you? And I was like, no, I'm just lost. And I kind of did like I don't want anything to do with you guys. And then the guy got like right up into my face and was like, you better be fucking lost. Why don't you get lost? And like whatever else. I was in like panic mode, so I couldn't. Oof. And then there was one of those like scooters, those rental scooters that are everywhere.
Yeah.
And he just gave that like a hard kick and did like this thing. And we were kind of like, and I went, no, I'm getting out of here. And I just kind of walked around and then swallowed all pride and just went full run.
But you know what? Relatively speaking, it's exciting.
And that part at the end there is obviously edited. But another thing Shane and Matt complain about is the heat and the bugs. Like Shane, he said there was some giant insect crawling on him in the middle of the night while he was sleeping, and he had to get up and look for it, but he couldn't find it. And then recently his power went out for 3 days, so his house was like 100 degrees, and he said a bunch of bugs got in, so it just sounded awful. And I think that's when he's finally like, all right, this sucks.
Fucking bug crawl across me. In the middle of the night. You know this is one of my deepest fears.
Yeah, what happened?
It fucking woke me up. The thing was huge.
Was it in the hotel?
No, it was in, It literally went up the side and I was like, no. I woke up, yeah.
And it wasn't like a night.
I don't think it was a night.
hallucination?
I felt it. It like woke me up. I could feel it on me.
What kind of bug? What kind of creepy crawler?
I didn't get to see the crawler, which was made for a worse evening because then I was
it's that large.
flashlight out, looking under the blankets. So what are you doing? I was like, I didn't want to tell her. I couldn't be like a giant spiders in our bed.
No way.
Because there has been a giant spider in the pool house. I didn't pack. There was a storm in Texas, and I have no power.
Okay.
And I have to be gone. I've been on the road for like a week, and I was
on their
going
own power grid like fucking idiots. Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
And I was going to do laundry before I left for this trip.
Right.
But everything, I have no power for like 3 days.
Yeah.
Texas fucking blows.
I didn't know that.
Hot as fuck. So, dude, the second we ran
back, Shane. Come on.
The second we ran out of power, the house was 90 degrees.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And just bugs.
And it's June. That will go out in August.
Bugs came in immediately. The house filled with bugs. I'm just laying in the dark. You would have liked it. I lit some candles and read a book.
And if Shane moves, Joe will be in shambles. You know, he loves Shane, and he was so happy when he moved there. So he's got to be concerned about this. And another comedian that trashes Austin is Mark Normand. You know, he goes there for the Protect Our Parks episodes and to perform at Rogan's Comedy Club. But he's like, I can't believe people want to move there and live there. Like, he also says New York comedians all goof on the comedians who move there. Like, him and Big J were on Bert's podcast, and they basically said the comedy scene there is way overhyped, which is bold, you know, because Rogan wants to make it seem like it's the comedy capital of the world. So he can't be happy about them saying this. I mean, at first, Mark seems nervous to even admit that he doesn't like Austin that much. Bert asked him about it. He's like, yeah, it's cool. I like it there. And Bert's like, well, you kind of have to say that. So you know it's bad when even Bert is like, dude, you don't need to lie to us. We know Austin isn't that great.
They went to Austin, and gotta tell you that Austin. I don't know how these people, these Gillises or these Tyler Fish or these Seguras, who must be Greek, how do they live there? I mean, it's that city is a boiling pot of evil goo just circling a dish.
What do you mean? The heat? The homeless?
The heat, the homeless, the drugs, the whores, the cigarettes, the shows, the fucking pork taco, the tequila. I mean, it's just...
What's New York's take on Austin?
Oh, it's a punchline, for sure.
Really?
I like Austin. I like the mothership's great. And
you have to say that.
Yeah, really.
I know. Shane's down there. It's I like Brian Simpson. I like I like all the guys. But
the extreme move out there was ridiculous.
I would never move there.
I think the move out there was ridiculous.
I think
it's 100 people moving there to try to get one of 8 spots available at Mothership.
And they keep saying, "Hey, it's a boom, a comedy boom," but it's one club.
One club, and the Creek in the Cave. There's Creek in the Cave and Cap City. That's it. Really? Everything else is a bar.
Yeah.
And of course, Rogan pays a lot of attention to what comedians have to say about Austin and what they have to say about other comedians moving there. Like Bobby Lee kept making fun of everybody for following Rogan, and he said they would all regret it. And Rogan heard this and confronted him about it on his podcast. And he tries to convince Bobby to move there. And Bobby, he hates confrontation, so he's like, oh yeah, sure, I'll think about it. But the way he's talking about Austin, it didn't sound like he was interested at all. So Joe keeps trying to sell him on it, and eventually he just starts having a meltdown over California. It's hilarious. And once he starts talking about politics, you could hear Bobby do this giant sigh. You know, he's like, oh man, here we go. And he's probably just thinking, all right, dude, I'll move to Texas. Let's take it easy here. Because Rogan starts freaking out. His eyes are like popping out of his head. It's crazy.
It's a mistake.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're leaving in about a month.
In fact, I want to say this, right?
Yeah.
I want to say that I think you're following, a cult.
What?
Yeah. Okay. I think it's a cult.
Okay.
And I think it's a cult of personality. I think that you see, our leader going out there and establishing his presence out there. And you think, I'm going to go there. I'm going to go to Waco or whatever they did.
Waco.
Those fucking idiots that moved to Texas, those fucking morons. Some of them are coming back. Tim Dillon, I saw him the other night. He's like, I'm moving back October 1st. It's like, no shit.
Yeah, I saw that on the Joey Diaz podcast.
Yeah. They're going to come back.
But yeah, there's nothing out there. I mean, it's going to be fun for 3 years.
Yeah, LA's the best.
You should come. I know you were talking shit about moving to Austin, but listen.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did. I watched the video.
No, I didn't.
Don't lie. You did. You did.
What I
I'm
said?
not fucking moving to Austin. I don't leave my neighborhood. I don't go to Compton. I stay right here.
You guys took half
of the talent out.
Yeah.
So I was just butthurt.
We brought another bunch in too. Like Shane Gillis lives here.
I know he does.
We're doing
now.
great.
I know you guys are killing it.
We're having
I went to the
so
club
much
last
fun.
night.
Come move here.
I know,
It's-
but
you're more than Paulie's thinking about it. Paulie's here a lot.
I know. And
Paul
then
was just here the
Theo's
other day.
thinking
He's
about
killing
it.
Theo's thinking about
Right.
it. Yeah. They're all just worried that like people go, oh, you moved there to suck on Rogan's nuts.
I would never suck your nuts.
I don't ask.
Well, maybe talk about it then.
Listen, man, it's a great place to live. It's a great place tax-wise. It's a great place traffic-wise. It's a great place. The most important thing is people-wise. The people here are so friendly. Austin people are great people. They're really nice. They're nice. They're not shitheads. They're not Hollywood people. They're not lost in this fake world of leftist ideology that everybody's trapped in. They're just people. They're just regular people, man. And those people exist outside of these blue bubbles where everyone's gone insane. I'm way more left than I am right. But California went nuts, man. It's gone like full communist. It's out of its fucking mind. And their approach to law enforcement is so insane. It's so insane. The no cash bail, the letting people out for committing violent crimes. Where's the left? Where are you guys? You guys are so far away. I can't even see you. You're out of your mind. You're fucking chopping dicks off. You won't even talk about the health risks.
Yeah.
You use things like gender affirming care. What are you saying?
Yeah.
What are you saying when you're talking about children? So everybody goes, you're on the right team. That's what it is. It's not like, oh my God, what are we doing to kids? It's not like, oh my God, what are we doing to San Francisco? It's not like, oh my God, why are we letting these violent criminals out of jail? It's like, oh my God, why are we defunding the fucking police? What are you doing?
Yeah.
You can't say any of those things. If you say any of those things,
But you
you're
just
a
said
Nazi.
it.
Yeah.
You get nervous?
No.
Okay.
And that's pretty much JRE in a nutshell now. You know, him talking about how amazing Austin is and then flipping out about California over the same problems Austin has and then listing all this stuff that he claims he can't talk about. Well, he's talking about it on the biggest platform in the world. And I feel like if Rogan was really happy in Austin, he wouldn't get so worked up about these issues in LA. I mean, why is he having a meltdown over this? You know, he could just chill out. I mean, he's not there anymore. He hasn't lived there in 5 years. But for some reason, he cares more about fixing the problems in LA than in Austin, where he lives, which is kind of weird, you know, because they have similar problems, but he only ever talks about the ones in LA.
And their approach to law enforcement is so insane. It's so insane. It's like, oh my God, why are we defunding the fucking police? What are you doing? And these knuckleheads decided to defund the police. But you know what? Relatively speaking, it's exciting. That's like part of what the fun is. Like, you cannot have light without dark. If you have sunshine all the time, you have California and everybody's fucked up. They don't know what to do.
Yeah, so I think Austin just completely broke this man's brain. I mean, these are the ramblings of a madman. And, you know, if he enjoys Austin and is happy with his move, I don't know why he obsesses over LA this much. I mean, the way he talks about California, it's like he's constantly trying to reassure himself that he made the right choice. You know, like this interaction with Bobby here, the way Joe's acting, you think Bobby's the one trying to convince Joe to move. Like, Joe's trying to sell Bobby on Austin, but it just results in Joe talking about how much he hates California for a lot of the same reasons people hate Austin. And most of the comments are just shitting on Austin and being like, it's not how Rogan describes here. Make sure you do your own research. And they're comparing it to California, and they say Austin is a trash blue bubble, and they don't consider it part of Texas. So it honestly sounds like Austin is just a shittier version of LA. I mean, that's kind of what Tim Dillon makes it seem like, at least. He moved there soon after Rogan did. Rogan convinced him, and he's like, just give it a year, try it out for a year, see how it goes. And he lasted less than 5 months. And Tim complains about LA too, but he ended up running right back. Or I think he goes back and forth between LA and New York. But he really hates Austin. He said he doesn't mind Texas that much, but Austin, he said, is just terrible. And he said moving there was one of the worst decisions he's made. And he said it might be the worst city in America. And it sounds like he just hated everything about it. And on his podcast, he's like, I need to get the fuck out of here. Like, he just couldn't hide his disdain for it, which I'm sure he wanted to because he knew Rogan wouldn't be happy about it. But the guy couldn't even last 6 months. You know, he just couldn't help himself, and he had to admit he just can't take it there anymore.
Austin has many of the problems of Los Angeles. A lot of the homeless people. There was a mass shooting last night, and the cops didn't even find the guy. He's running around here.
On the loose, yeah.
He's on the loose. I've been downtown 4 or 5 times. That's enough.
It's enough.
The first time I went down there, homeless people were throwing bottles at us as we walked out of the creek in the cave. People are being killed at night. The homeless are just going up and murdering comedians. And I don't even know, am I against that? I'm put in this weird position. of having to care about a city that I've never cared about. And I can't in good conscience do that. I only want to be funny. The stench of human failure in this city is so that you cannot breathe. You cannot inhale oxygen because the stench of human failure infects all of the air. It is a grotesquerie here. They do not know how to run a city. The food is shit. It's drunk pig women and men that have an itchy trigger finger just trying to shoot people, dancing around 6th Street drunk. These people are out of their fucking minds. It's a fucking rodeo of fat bitches and school shooters. Everybody eating at the trough. It has nothing to do with music. There are heroin addicts that occasionally do melodious things on the street. After they take a shit in the street, they play You Are My Sunshine. What does she want to do? Go downtown and get a bottle thrown at her head? Is that what she wants to do? Does she want to go play the accordion downtown and get raped with a glass bottle to her neck? It's chaos down there. It's utter hell and chaos.
Really
it's chaos down there. Okay? It's a horror.
Yeah.
LA's big enough. Austin's not that big. Austin's like 7 square blocks, and 2 of them are hell. 2 of them are Fallujah. It's crazy. So what? So to do what? So you can eat it. Fucking, Miss Vicky's brisket house. Who gives a fuck? Can we get the fuck out of here, please? Can we get the fuck? What the fuck were we thinking? Can we get the fuck out of here, please? Do I want pickles and onions with it? No, give me a ticket. I'm leaving. I'm leaving.
Yeah, so Rogan managed to get a lot of his big comedian friends to move there, but it sounds like keeping them there is the hard part. And if Shane moves, that's going to be rough for Joe. He'll be coping over that for years. But at least now he has Shab, Callan, and Joey Diaz. They're all moving there. That'll make up for it. No, I'm kidding. But if you want to hear about Shab's disastrous move that he's already regretting, make sure you check out my Patreon. I've been covering it over there. I also recently made a big video about Tim Dillon. He exposed Joe Rogan's handler, and that's already one of my most popular videos on there. So people really seem to enjoy it. And there are over 130 other exclusive videos. So if you like this one, you want more content, make sure you check it out. It's definitely worth it. There'll be a link in the description. All right, so it looks like the Epstein investigation has concluded, and it turns out the FBI and DOJ discovered there was actually no client list, no blackmail, and Epstein did kill himself. It turns out Ghislaine Maxwell's in jail for trafficking minors to nobody. That seriously is what the government wants us to believe, which I don't think a single person does. Nobody trusts this investigation. This was the biggest joke ever. I mean, they literally just treated this whole thing like a joke. If you remember in the beginning of the year, they did that whole binder stunt, and I guess they just hope people are dumb enough to accept that. They handed out already public information in a binder, and they gave them to a bunch of influencers to do a photo shoot with them, which I still cringe looking at. This was so embarrassing. I don't know if these people involved will ever live this down. And then to make things even worse, the official House Judiciary GOP Twitter account posted breaking Epstein files released, and they linked it to that Rick Ashley music video. They literally rickrolled people with the Epstein files. That's how big of a joke this is to them. It's like they're all just laughing at us, you guys really are gullible enough to believe that the elites involved with child sex trafficking are going to be held accountable. Come on. And then just the other day, we had maybe the biggest slap in the face. All these people that used to talk about how important it is to release the files and how people need to be held accountable and how Epstein probably didn't kill himself and how they'd released the files day one. Like Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi. After years of them talking about this, they're now the ones trying to help cover up the Epstein story. So they have to live with knowing that they're helping protect the clients of one of the most prolific child sex traffickers in recent history. And I knew we would never get the list from this administration, but for them to conclude the investigation basically by saying there's nothing to see here, let's move on from it, is just wild. I thought they'd just try to drag it on for 4 years and hope people would forget about it. But instead they use this as an opportunity to try to cover for everyone involved. So of course people haven't been handling this very well. Like Alex Jones, he literally started puking and crying from this.
So now by coming in and being part of the cover-up, the Trump administration has become part of it. I mean, it's just, you cannot see it any other way. So I just got to the office. I'm going to go throw up, actually. And this only happens every few years when something really, really bad happens or something. I mean, I'm physically going to puke probably right now. My mouth is watering right now. It's because I have integrity. And, I just really need the Trump administration to succeed and to save this country, and they're doing so much good. And then for them to do something like this tears my guts out.
So even some of Trump's biggest supporters can't hide how big of a disaster this is. Like, after all this talk of the files coming out and people being held accountable, they're now trying to tell us that there was no client list. I mean, this is just comical. Like, they have no shame lying right to our faces. Like, Pam Bondi just a couple months ago said she has files on her desk, and Kash Patel, before he's in office, said the FBI is trying to cover for his clients, which I guess is what he's doing now. And then also Trump's lawyer said she has flight logs, names, and all this info that's going to come out.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that.
We have flight logs. We have information, names that will come out.
Is it going to be shocking?
I don't see how it's not shocking that there were so many individuals that were hidden and kept secret and not been held accountable. Let's talk about the reverse. I believe in accountability. So you have to now go through your process.
You know, it's the same thing with Epstein's list. It's like, what the hell are these Republicans doing? Oh,
I saw you
give out the list.
I saw you make news this morning about that. I got to get to that.
Yeah.
You say that the FBI has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it. That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator. That seems like an evil thing to do, regardless of who may be embarrassed in the release of that list. Why is the FBI protecting the greatest, the largest scale in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list.
So I guess they lied about all that, and now we're expected to believe that they're telling the truth, that there's no clients, which makes more sense. There are no clients, or like Kash said, there's a list that isn't coming out because of who's on it. I think everybody would say the latter. So they're just insulting our intelligence at this point. And all Kash can say now is, don't you guys trust me? If I had info on this, don't you think I'd release it? But no, I don't think anybody trusts him. Like, also when he was on Rogan, he said he's going to release what he can because he doesn't want to re-victimize Epstein's victims, which is just insulting to the victims because they want all the information out there. They want people held accountable. So he is now just straight up protecting Epstein's clients.
Again, we're going to give you everything we can, and people have to remember, we're not going to re-victimize women. We're not going to put that shit back out there. It's not happening, because then he wins. Not doing it. You want to hate me for it? Fine. Again, logical play out. If there was a video of some guy or gal committing felonies on an island, and I'm in charge, don't you think you'd see it?
If you have access to it.
If I have it. Period.
Right.
If I have it, we will give you everything we can, and then we will have done our job. Also, if I had a shred, me, Kash Patel, had a shred of evidence, the Russiagate guy, the Jan 6 guy, the COVID origins guy, had a shred of evidence that this guy was murdered, I would be the first guy to bring this case hard and fast. And I would even doing press conferences every week on it. Mm-hmm. The first guy.
And the footage that they released that they claimed would prove that Epstein killed himself is just some footage of outside of these two cells that aren't even his. His is like way in the background. You can't really see it. So I don't know what this proves. And the footage randomly jumps ahead a minute, so it's missing a part, which is funny because also during this podcast, Kash is like, we really got to take our time with this and make sure there's nothing missing, because even if 4 seconds are missing, people will point at that as being suspicious.
We're reviewing not just the video, we're reviewing everything as meticulously as we can, because that's what we owe the American people. That's our job. And I don't want to rush to the sticks or the podium and just say, hey, look what we found.
Right.
And then be like, oh, sorry, I forgot the 4 seconds. If we miss 4 seconds, and be like, oh, well, it's in the 4 seconds you missed.
Right.
And this is so much of a shit show. It almost feels deliberate. I mean, obviously nobody's going to buy any of this bullshit. And now Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, they're all destroying their credibility. I guess just to help cover for Trump and Israeli intelligence. It's crazy they all went from being like, we can't stop talking about this, we need people held accountable, to being like, guys, get over it, move on already, enough with the conspiracy theories. It's funny, JD Vance, he had this tweet from 2021 where he's like, remember, we learned that our wealthiest and most powerful people were connected to a guy who ran a literal child sex trafficking ring. And then that guy died mysteriously in a jail, and now we just don't talk about it. But now Trump is the one telling people not to talk about it. After they announced the conclusion of the investigation, Pam Bondi was asked by a reporter if Epstein worked for intelligence, and Trump is like, guys, why are we focusing on Epstein? Come on, it's been years. We're still talking about him. This is ridiculous. Don't we have bigger issues to focus on? Which is wild to say right after they make this huge announcement about it. Of course, people are going to have some follow-up questions. But now Trump is the one that wants us to move on from it and forget about it, which is obviously really suspicious because, Trump is good friends with Epstein, and Elon Musk said he was in the files, and now Elon just said Steve Bannon is in the files as well, and he's obviously just having a field day with all this. But also, just this whole investigation made things even more confusing and fueled more conspiracy theories about it. They said they had a list, now they don't have a list. They wanted people held accountable, now they don't want people talking about it. And they haven't cleared anything up and only made people even more suspicious after this investigation. And now apparently you can't even ask questions about the investigation. So this is not a good look.
Alex Costa, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of the set?
Yeah, sure. If
Pam, could I just interrupt for 1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Sure. First, to back up on that, in February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said, I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file, along with the JFK, MLK files as well.
So I don't think they could make this any more suspicious. Well, actually, then right after all this, Netanyahu, the prime minister of Israel, had a meeting with Trump and said Trump deserves a Nobel Peace Prize. I mean, the timing of that is crazy. But let me know what you guys think about it down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, I have over 140 exclusive 20-minute videos on Patreon. And I talked about how Tim Dillon recently exposed Joe Rogan's handler. And I've actually been talking a lot about how Jeffrey Epstein's associates have been using Rogan's podcast to try to rehabilitate their image and do PR and convince Rogan and his audience that they're the good guys that met with Epstein. So there's a lot going on out there. And if you want to make sure you keep up to date with everything, Patreon's the best way to do it. Make sure you check it out. There'll be a link in the description.
There was some crazy stuff going on that they were able to cover up.
And still are.
But then, man, doesn't it, the fact that we're still talking about Jeffrey Epstein tell us how hard it is to come up with anything else?
No, because there's no answers.